Hey y'all, it's Brittany. How's it going today? Hope everyone is doing well. I'm back with a new video, and today it is going to be a redo of a video I uploaded to my channel maybe about a week or two ago, where I talked about the code running my website here, Quick Black History Facts. And the reason I'm redoing it is because I started playing around with Google's NotebookLM recently, like a week or two ago. And if you don't know what it is a your personalized AI research assistant. That's what it says here on the website. Basically, you could throw a bunch of different sources, PDF files, website links, text files, whatever, into this software. It's going to summarize it. It's going to tell you insights. It's going to show you citations. And one of the coolest features is that it can create an audio overview, which is a deep dive discussion or a podcast. Many people consider it a podcast. And you've probably been seeing these popping up on YouTube and other places where this man and woman, they're not real people. These are just AI chatbots who are talking to each other about the sources that you threw into it. So for me, I've tried using my GitHub profile. I wasn't too happy with the output there, but I mean, there's really not much of a story to tell from a README and just lines of code. So I've been playing around more so with my blog. So here's the post that I wrote back on December 2nd about Quick Black History Facts, and just describing why I made it, how it runs, all that good stuff. And so I got the file, got the audio overview, and I listened to about the first 20-25 seconds. I wanted to see if it was good enough for me to react to. And so far, so good. So I'm going to go ahead, react to the rest of this, see what this AI thinks about my website that displays a random black history fact every 10 seconds. So let's see how this goes. I have the audio in a separate window that you can't see. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it now.
Right. So today we're going to be taking a look at this really cool web application.
Yeah.
It's called Quick Black History Facts.
Uh-huh.
And it was created by Brittany Gates.
Yeah.
And I think I think this is a really cool deep dive for us and for our listeners, because Brittany is kind of in the middle of a career transition.
Yeah, definitely.
She's moving from, data center tech into software engineering. and just in the
So it took that from the tagline on my blog. Basically here, upgrading from data center technician to software engineer. So I like that. So it's reading everything on the screen. That's, so far, I'm impressed. Let's see how this goes.
process of doing that, kind of came up with this this website.
I think it's a really great story.
Yeah.
Just kind of shows you like how much you can do even if you're not like a professional software developer yet.
Yeah.
Right. She just had this like idea and took it and ran with it.
Yeah, and what's interesting about it too is that it started as something totally different.
Oh yeah.
She had this idea for automating her Black History Month tweets.
Yeah, I did.
It's like we've all been there. Like,
Absolutely.
I wish I had a bot that could just do this.
Yeah.
Repetitive task for me.
That's where it all starts.
A bot talking about, I wish I had a bot. This is why I joke. The robots that they're trying to create to alleviate humans from doing these tasks, I think in the future you're going to have robots who make other robots to alleviate their tasks so they could just go sit. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that just popped up in my head.
Right?
Yeah.
You get tired of doing something over and over again.
Right.
And you start thinking like, how can I automate this?
Yep.
And so she wanted to automate these Black History Month tweets. And so she, was starting to look into it.
Uh-huh.
And she realized, like, I'm not quite there yet with my Twitter API skills.
Yeah, not quite ready to dive into that whole world yet.
So she...
Yeah, I really wasn't. My Python skills were still beginner. And I was, even at the time, I was still working at Twitter. And I was just researching how to use Twitter API. It was going over my head. I could have asked for help. I could have done more research. I probably could have made it work. But I just like, oh, dude, I'm out of my depth. And I think it's okay to realize that. If you're learning a new skill, it doesn't matter if it's software engineering, it doesn't matter if you're trying to fix your house, like if you're trying to fix a plumbing issue. But you need to just realize when you're out of your depth and you need to go ahead and either change plans or call a professional,
You pivoted
Yeah.
and just said, okay, well, I'm going to make a website instead.
I think
Yeah.
that's great,
Yeah.
Shows real problem solving skills.
Yeah.
She could have just been like, oh, well, I guess I can't do that.
Right.
But instead she's like, well, what can I do?
Yeah.
What skills do I have? And how can I apply those to achieve kind of a similar goal?
Right.
And I think that's like
Yeah.
really essential in any field.
Yeah.
But especially like tech, you got to be adaptable. You got to be able to like roll with the
That's
punches.
very true.
Yeah. So the
Very
website
true.
itself,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
if we take a look at, it's built using, a few different tools.
Yeah.
One of them is Bootstrap.
Okay.
Another one is Flask,
Mm-hmm.
and then also Python.
Yeah.
And so, just a quick.
Just real quick, for those who don't know what Bootstrap is, I talk about it a little bit here in the blog post, but here's the website. It's a library front-end toolkit. It allows you to build really responsive websites very quickly. A couple of software engineers at Twitter created it and they open sourced it, and I love Bootstrap. A lot of people don't use it. Well, no, let me take that back. People still use Bootstrap, but it's not the first tool that many people go to nowadays. I know a lot of people using Tailwind CSS and are using other CSS tools to build responsive websites, but I love it because it's just so easy. If you need a simple tool to get a website up and running and it be responsive, Bootstrap is it. It has a low learning curve, so if you're a beginner in front-end web dev, I highly suggest Bootstrap. As for Flask, Flask is a web server gateway interface, or a WSGI, and it allows you to create websites that have different routes or links to different pages, things like that. There's a lot. I enjoy Flask. I think Flask has overtaken Django in popularity just like a little bit. Django is very popular, and also with Python backend work. I've tried twice to learn Django. This last time I rage quit again because it's just so much. It takes so much, in my opinion, so much code just to get a basic website up and running. And I'm not even talking about a website that requires login. I'm just talking about a basic website. And so for me, I love Flask. I've been using Flask since I think I created this website in 2019, something like that, maybe 2018. It's been a while. But yeah, let's get back to the podcast.
Explain, for those who aren't familiar.
Sure.
Bootstrap is basically a tool that helps make websites look good.
Yeah, it's like a front-end framework.
We're talking about
And it also
Bootstrap.
helps with responsiveness.
Right. Make sure that it looks good on all different kinds of devices.
Exactly, yeah. So whether you're on your phone or your laptop.
Exactly.
Or
Tablet.
your tablet, it's going to look good.
Yeah.
Flask is another tool.
Okay.
And Flask provides this kind of framework for building web applications, specifically with Python.
Okay.
And Python is a really popular programming language.
Oh, yeah. It's used for
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff these days.
Yeah.
I don't
very
have a- I
versatile.
don't-
Super versatile.
Didn't bring up the website for
and
Python.
What's interesting too is like the way that the random fact display works is
This part blew my mind a little bit.
it's really simple and elegant.
Yeah. I was expecting something much more complicated.
Yeah, so essentially it's just reading facts from a text file.
Like a plain text file.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
Just a list of facts.
Yeah.
Each one on a separate line.
yeah, so each fact is on a separate line
Yeah.
in the text file, and then the code just picks one of those lines at random.
Randomly selects one.
Yeah.
And displays it on the web page.
Yeah.
It's so simple,
I know.
but it works.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a really valuable lesson.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with both of them. I think a lot of people who are starting to write code, doesn't matter if they want to be a web dev, doesn't matter if they want to do, back-end coding, if they want to even become AI or ML. I think a lot of them, and I used to be one of those people, they're like, oh man, it's going to take a lot of code to write all this. And no, in 3 lines of code, I have, like the podcaster said, all the facts are in a text file. That text file is located here. I'm probably got in the static directory. I'm going to just zoom in so y'all can see it in the files, and here it is. It is a text file, and each fact is separated by a new line character. And so, yes, it just reads, takes one of those facts as a fact, and then, puts all this into a list, because in Python, when it's reading read lines, it's going to return it as a list. So thus I called it fact list. And with the render template, this is here in Flask, it's going to put everything on index.html, and the Black History fact is going to be one of those random choices out of that list. And it just works. It's simple. It is not overcomplicated. This did take for me a while, like I said, because I was a beginner, but I was able to, with a lot of research and testing, just to get it down to this. And this is, again, there's been iterations of this. I think I originally wrote this in JavaScript, did some other stuff. I think I had this in an array instead of a text file. And then when I went over to Python, it's gone through a bunch of different iterations over the years. I don't even have those iterations anymore, so I can't really show you.
Like, sometimes you don't need to overcomplicate things.
No.
Right.
The simplest solution is often the best solution.
And of course, if you have like, millions of facts or something,
Right. If you start getting into huge amounts of data,
I might need a database.
then you might need something more sophisticated.
That's correct.
When you're just starting out,
Yeah. Keep it simple.
keep it simple.
Keep
and then
it
you
simple.
can always scale up later
Exactly.
if you need to.
Yeah. So,
What's next for Brittany?
what's next for Brittany in this project?
Yeah. What's she going to do in 2025?
Well, she's planning to add even more facts in 2025.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's an evolving project.
Yeah.
Note to listeners, I have not added any new facts. It is February 1st when I'm recording this. And this is the start of Black History Month in America. Yeah, I messed up there. I could work on that today, but I'm also going on vacation. So what did I do during January? I worked on a new project. I'm almost finished with it. I wrote blog posts. I've been playing around with this tool. Yeah. That plan I had did not work out. So just keep a lookout. Just keep a lookout. I'm going to add some facts throughout the month.
It's not just a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah, she's going to keep adding to it.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah. I love that.
You know what's cool about this to me
Yeah.
is that it makes you think like, okay, so what could I create?
Yes.
Yeah, like, what are you passionate about?
Right.
Exactly.
What am I passionate about?
You could share with the world.
Yeah. How could I do this?
Yeah.
For, something that I care about.
And this is the reason why I'm doing these videos. Because if you're a coder, doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you're experienced, when you start learning something new, you're like, let me build a project. Because that's how you learn. You're like, let me build something. And you'll see the tutorials. And like, let's just go back for beginners. Because, if you're trying to get into coding, you're going to be hitting a lot of these tutorials. And a lot of them have the same project. Weather app, to-do app, Hangman, a card game. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great way to solidify the logic statements that you're learning, to solidify the loops that you're learning, so you can understand how variables and other data structures work. That's fantastic. But you want to move beyond that. You want to create something that you would use and other people would use, even if those other people are just 5 people. But you want to create something because that's going to break you out of that tutorial heck that many people find themselves in. And so for me, I was like, okay, how do I randomly pull a fact out of a list? I didn't know that. So I had to go research, read documentation, like, oh, okay, I can use random, because I only knew random, the built-in, library in Python like in JavaScript does. I knew that it could make random numbers. I didn't know it can randomly pull out stuff. So when you start thinking about what else can I do, that makes you read documentation, that makes you start asking questions, and you're like, wow, I could do so much. And that's how you grow. Because if you are able to get a software engineering job, if you're able to get a web development job, whatever job you get to write code, you're going to be put into situations where you're like, yeah, I don't know what to do. they gave me this task to do XYZ. I have no idea. And you're gonna have to research. You're gonna have to say, oh, I could do it like that. Well, I know I could do it this way because I've done this in this project. But I wonder, can I tweak it so we can do this now? And that'll take you down the rabbit hole. You're going to end up figuring stuff out. And that's why I'm doing these videos. Not just so I can boast about my software skills, not so I can just put my GitHub profile out there. All this stuff can be found on Google search anyhow. No, I just want to give other people motivation. Maybe you're a data center technician too who wants to move into coding. Maybe you're a person who's working in another industry and you're like, you know what? I've been hearing stuff about software engineering. I'm thinking about trying it out. Maybe I'll be interested. And so I just want to provide that inspiration and motivation for other people about, okay, these are the things you can do. These are the things you can create. You don't have to just go and create another weather app. Nothing against weather apps. It's just that there's a lot of tutorials that'll have you create one.
Similar way.
Yeah, maybe it's, a random fact generator about my favorite hobby.
Yep.
Or maybe it's like a website that showcases your photography.
Right.
Or your
Exactly.
writing,
Right.
or
Yep.
whatever it is that you're into.
Yeah.
Like there's so many possibilities.
Yeah. And I think that's really what
Yeah.
Brittany's project shows us.
It's that technology is accessible.
Yeah.
Like anybody can do this.
Yeah.
If you have an idea and you're willing to put in
Yeah.
a little bit of time and effort, I can learn.
yeah.
You can build something cool.
Absolutely.
You can. We have, even before the chatbots came, we had Stack Overflow, we had blog posts. You can learn how to code. There was websites, I mean, there still are websites like W3 Schools that were teaching people. So with the advent of LLMs, large language models, chatbots, Gemini, OpenAI, or Chat GPT, or as the Prime Minister calls them, Chat GPT. These things can help you if you are trying to create something. The information, I don't want to say it's limitless because there is a limit to information, but it's very easy to gain it now and use it for your own projects. Even if you're not going to release it to the world, you just like, I just want to see if I could create this. It's out there. It can help you.
You can share it with the world.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I think this has been a really cool deep dive.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
was.
Really inspiring.
Yeah. And hopefully inspiring for our listeners too.
Hopefully.
So thanks for joining us, and we'll
Yeah, thanks for listening.
see you next time.
See you later.
All right.
Bye.
So that is the end of the audio overview. Again, I'm impressed by this. I think that was a really great overview of this project. It captured a lot of what I wrote about, and it even brought up some things that, I didn't really expect it to discuss. And so I'm gonna do this for my other two web apps. I was going to talk about my final one, Where Should I Go Eat? But I wanted to redo this one, and I'm going to do click go lotto next, and then I will talk about Where Should I Go Eat. But yeah, I think this turned out pretty well. And tell me what you think about it in the comments below. I really want to hear from you. If you have any questions about anything else, we put that down there too. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. Trying my best to put out 1 to 2 videos per week. And thank you again for listening. Thank you for taking the time out. I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy talking to y'all via the comments and even on social media. Some people reach out. So thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.